Okay, if you spent any amount of time on the internet over the past few years, you've probably heard of Bo Burnham. Whether it's from his stand-up comedy that he did before the pandemic, like What or Make Happy, or some of his directing work like 8th Grade, or maybe you just stumbled upon a song you found on TikTok. Point is, Bo Burnham was pretty popular. I want to take us back though. Not just to before the pandemic, when Bo had arguably his biggest jump in popularity, but back all the way to when he was just posting random crude songs from his college dorm room on YouTube. It's easy to think that at this point, Bo was a naive and wonderment-filled kid with dreams of becoming a star, but I'd argue even at this point, Bo was beginning to realize the cesspool that is Hollywood and the entire entertainment industry as a whole. When his YouTube channel took off, Bo was very quickly thrust into a lot of fame. His songs on YouTube were racking up hundreds of thousands of views, and his upbeat persona mixed with crude or cynicism-filled lyrics was making him stand out from other comedians on YouTube at the time. Bo was using shock value content and mixing it with musical skill to create something truly unique. Since he was one of the biggest creators on YouTube, it didn't come as a surprise that he was invited to perform at YouTube Live alongside Katy Perry and many other creators who were big on the platform at the time. However, perhaps what's the most compelling part about his performance at YouTube Live is the song that Bo sings, Welcome to YouTube. It starts off with the typical crude humor you'd come to expect from a Bo Burnham song. He leads with a typical line you'd see from some vapid person saying, "Before YouTube I walked through life, and now I frolic," and then turns it around by saying, "YouTube's been like a father to me, except YouTube's not an alcoholic." After this though, Bo spends many lines in the song criticizing the flaws that he sees in YouTube that still reign true today, mentioning that the success YouTube has given him has not changed him as a person. "Well, not much has changed, but I've money." The song goes on to talk about the potential drawbacks of a website in which anyone can post to with no regulation and no moderation. There's nothing stopping people from posting content that would be incredibly harmful to some people. Most interesting though is the song's end line. "And it'll keep on going and it'll never stop until it's privatized. Thanks." This line might not seem like much to people today. After all, with the dozens of streaming services begging for your hard-earned money and YouTube TV or YouTube Premium. But at this point, it's important to remember that YouTube was small and thought of as a fad or a small little website to most people. A video hadn't even broken 1 billion views yet, and it wouldn't for the next few years. And yet, Bo noticed the writing on the wall. YouTube could be used for great things, but it was much more likely that success for YouTube was probably going to mean media conglomerates and advertisers sucking out any semblance of creativity from the website. Bo would continue the sentiment with the song Art is Dead from his first stand-up special Words, Words, Words. And all of that brings us to 2013. Bo Burnham's getting pretty successful. But with that success comes a lot of hands wanting to get their fingers in the cookie jar. Bad publicity was good publicity at the time, and the ramifications of celebrities and the success that they have was all over, with stars such as Lindsay Lohan and Justin Bieber and the Kardashians getting bigger and bigger and bigger despite all of the horrible things that they were doing or saying. Their fans still loved them regardless and supported them blindly. Reality TV was taking off more than ever. People were now becoming famous and getting publicity daily for being the worst version of themselves. Audience members would complain, tear their hair out, and petition shows to be cancelled, only to come back daily or weekly to hate watch them start to finish, giving advertisers and network TV even more money. So, Bo Burnham's 23 years old, and he's approached to create a television show. In an age where most of his peers would still be in college or university, here he was, getting the opportunity to direct, write, and star in a TV show. He's on top of the world, right? What would he create then? A critique on the very system that allowed Bo to succeed in the first place. A piece that was scathing to the entire entertainment industry and reality TV as a whole. The downsides that this culture of fame had created in Bo Burnham's eyes. That show was titled, Zach Stone is Gonna Be Famous. A quick breakdown of the premise is this. Zach Stone is a perfectly normal kid. He's just graduated high school and he's got a part-time job, he gets good grades, and he's trying to figure out what to do in his life. He turns on the TV to see who makes the most money and who he should be looking up to, and big surprise, it's celebrities. It's reality TV stars. Why choose a long-time career if you can simply be famous and make a shitload of money just for being yourself? So Zach spends all of his money that he's saved not on a college tuition or a car or anything to further his own person, but instead on a camera crew to document his life and the ladder he climbs on the way to the top of success. He's a big shot asshole because that's what all rich and successful people have to do, right? At first glance, the first episode would certainly make it seem that way. Zach's camera crew are an annoyance and upheave his domestic family home life in the passing of someone close to them. Zach doesn't show any remorse or grief though. For him, this is an opportunity to kickstart his successful career as famous. Susan! Miss you. However, this exterior as a wannabe famous person, hotshot celebrity, is compromised at small points throughout the pilot. The cracks in this facade show an honest, nervous, and in-love teenager who's just confused about where he should go in life.
Zach, I'm going to college in a couple of months.
Okay, you don't think I know that, Amy? Everyone's leaving.
okay? If I don't get famous, I'm gonna be stuck in this town working at a coal mine for the rest of my life.
The story sets up two main questions. One, will Zach get famous? And two, will Zach confess his feelings to Amy, the girl next door who he is desperately trying to keep the spotlight away from? The pilot escalates with Zach's desire to make the funeral the best funeral it can be and kickstart his career.
Surefire bet of glitter.
And along the way, he successfully coerces himself a hot girl to be with him as he gains fame, oblivious to the fact that she is just using him for his money and camera crew to try and get famous herself. The episode culminates with Zach bombing a funeral speech, barely saving it at the end with some choice words about his own feelings towards Amy moving away and the people that you love in life being important.
For the late, great Susan, I forget her last name. Okay, thank you very much. It's a sad day, guys. I've learned this week that you need to cherish people when you have them.
As this show continues, each episode after the pilot focuses on Zach trying to get famous in a new way. Rather than sticking to an idea, he's always on the hunt for something new that will make him seem famous with only a day or two's worth of effort. He constantly fails and never seems to learn anything. He tries being a recording artist, getting a makeover, being a chef, and even making a sex tape. As the show goes on, Zach loses more and more money with each episode as the camera crew bleeds money from his meager wages as a part-time cashier, and he seems no closer to success. Along with this though, Zach also gets to see everyone around him who he thinks of himself as better than succeed as they go the more traditional way of living life. Amy gets a boyfriend, which sends Zach into a bitter spiral where he pushes her away and almost completely stops talking to her, and until he finds out her boyfriend and her weren't really connecting and he confesses his love. His friend Greg is also going off to college, and as the series goes on, we see that friendship ebb and flow before Zach finally helps him pack up. All of this brings us to the final episode, titled Zach Stone is Gonna Be Famous. No, really. Zach is seemingly at the end of everything. He's exhausted all of his money and goodwill with others. His family has rejected him and hates him. His friends and Amy are all moving away, and since he let the deadline for attending college pass, he is going to be stuck in his hometown with nothing to show for it. He's not going to be famous. He's failed. So the final episode starts, and it seems like Zach might actually make it. His friends are still going away, but maybe all of that sacrifice has been worth it in Zach's eyes, because hey, this is it. He's going to make it. He's going to be famous. That's all he ever wanted.
Take the promotion at the supermarket.
Because I quit yesterday.
What?
Putting all of my eggs into Fame's basket.
Rejecting a promotion at the supermarket and a chance to start a career for himself. This is it. It's his big moment. It's his big 5 minutes of fame. Literally. So Zach gets to the news studio, all ready for his 5-minute spotlight. It's his big moment to do as the show has said, to become famous. So what does he do? What does he say?
Hey America, how are you? I'm Zach. We've been talking all summer, actually. But this might be the first time you're actually listening. My house is usually a mess. My family is usually fighting. And it's like that. Point is, it's like that because of me. And despite all that, they said all that really nice stuff about me.
Zach crumbles. He breaks. That's right, the constant complaining from his family and friends about what a failure he is has finally sunken in. He uses the 5-minute spot to come clean. It isn't the media or his parents' fault that he isn't famous. It's his own. He's ruined everything around him in pursuit of this intangible goal. Famous is not a job title, and you can't get there by forcing it. Zach confesses his love to Amy on live television after she's left for college, realizing that she was the most important thing in his life, and Zach let her walk away. Zach walks off the news segment, says goodbye to his camera crew, and is caught off guard when who shows up at the door but none other than Amy herself, the girl he's been pining for all this time, the romance the entire show has been toying with the audience for. Zach kisses Amy, and the two of them walk hand in hand towards exit doors. Zach turns to the camera and even says it himself.
So this is it. The last shot.
It's a happy ending for Zach, for his family and for Amy, and everyone he surrounded himself with. He's grown as a person and realized that this pursuit of fame is irrelevant if he can't take along the people around him with him. Zach and Amy open the doors and leave, fade to black. It's a lovely and, hold on, 90 seconds left. Oh, well, it's probably just some cheesy kiss or a longer walk off into the sunset, right? Let's just watch and find out.
There he is! Are you two together now? You guys look so cute together. Hey, Zach Stone. Can I have your autograph? Zach.
Sure. Yeah. Zach Stone is gonna be famous. 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 Zach Stone. Zach Stone is gonna be famous. Zach Stone.
Okay. So Zach lets go of Amy's hand and instead begins to turn to his adoring fans, giving them autographs and singing to himself the theme song of the entire show. He's literally rejecting Amy and everything he's just said in pursuit of his fame. He hasn't changed at all. For some people, fame is all that matters. Being famous is a job title. Being famous is a life goal. It doesn't matter what you have to do to get there. If you are famous, you have won. You've succeeded. I believe Zach Stone was supremely ahead of its time. With the rise of short-form controversies and the glamorization of figures like Andrew Tate and reality TV shows filled with nothing but with awful people who are only encouraged to feed into those awful parts of themselves as fans come and follow their pages, the central message of Zach Stone is going to be famous has never felt more true to the current mediascape than it does today. Fame corrupts people, and the pursuit of it can involve betraying not just yourself, but the people around you. It's rarely ever worth it. Thank you all for watching this video. I'm sorry I've been gone so long, and I do hope to start posting videos again soon. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and if you're interested in watching the show for yourself, it's all linked in the description down below.